What secret was so powerful that the devil himself fought for Moses' dead body? Why would Satan want the corpse of God's greatest prophet? Stay with me, because the hidden reason behind this mystery will shock you, and it's a truth most Christians never hear in church. If this video helped uncover the truth, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, hit like, and share this video so more people can finally see what's been hidden for so long. Everyone deserves to know the truth. Why would the devil, God's greatest enemy, want the dead body of Moses? This strange and mysterious story appears only once in the Bible, in the short letter of Jude 1 verse 9. It says, "But Michael the Archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him a railing judgment, but said, 'The Lord rebuke you.'" That's it. Just one verse. No explanation, no background, no details. Yet it opens the door to one of the strangest and most provocative mysteries in Scripture. Why did the devil want Moses' body so badly? Think about it. Of all the people in the Bible, of all the prophets and leaders, only Moses has this bizarre story attached to his death. The devil fought for his body. But why? What secret did Moses carry? What power or danger was connected to his remains? This mystery has sparked centuries of debate. Some say it was about idolatry. Others say it was about resurrection. And some whisper about even darker secrets, hidden knowledge, forbidden power, and the ultimate war between heaven and hell. Today, we expose the hidden reason, and once you hear it, you may never look at the Bible or Moses the same way again. The strange death of Moses. Unlike many figures in Scripture, Moses' death is surrounded by mystery. In Deuteronomy 34, verses 5 to 6, it says, "So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab. And he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor. But no man knows his burial place to this day." Wait a second. God himself buried Moses, and no one knows where the grave is? This is unique. Abraham was buried in Hebron, David in Jerusalem. Even Jesus had a known tomb. But Moses? No one knows. It's as if heaven wanted his body hidden from humanity. This secrecy already raises suspicion. Why would God personally bury Moses in an unknown grave? What was so special or so dangerous about his body? And here comes Jude 1:9, centuries later, revealing that the devil himself wanted that body. Suddenly, Moses' secret burial makes sense. If Satan wanted it, then God had to hide it. But what could Satan possibly gain from possessing Moses' corpse? Was it symbolic power, a weapon of deception, or something more sinister? Idolatry, the devil's oldest trick. One explanation is simple but disturbing. The devil wanted to turn Moses' body into an idol. Think about the Israelites. They worshipped a golden calf only days after leaving Egypt. They constantly fell into idolatry, chasing false gods, statues, and shrines. If Satan had gained Moses' body, imagine the cult he could have built. Moses was the greatest prophet of Israel, the man who split the Red Sea, who spoke with God on Sinai. If his corpse had been displayed, people might have worshipped it as a divine relic. They could have built temples around his tomb. They could have turned Moses into a false god. And Satan knows exactly how to twist human devotion. By controlling Moses' body, he could have hijacked Israel's worship and replaced God with a corpse. It would have been the ultimate victory of deception. So God hid the body, and Michael the Archangel rebuked Satan, because even in death, Moses could have been used as a weapon to lead millions astray. Resurrection power. But some scholars take it further. They argue Satan wanted Moses' body not for idolatry, but for resurrection. Think carefully. Moses later appears in the New Testament alive. In the transfiguration of Jesus, Matthew 17, Moses and Elijah stand with Christ, glowing in glory. How could Moses appear if his body was buried? Some believe God planned to resurrect Moses or to transform him for this special moment. If Satan had stolen the body, he might have blocked that plan or even tried to corrupt it. What if Satan wanted to resurrect Moses himself, to create a false prophet, a puppet under his control? Imagine the chaos if Israel saw their great leader alive again, but twisted by darkness. It could have destroyed the entire faith of God's people. The devil wasn't just after a corpse. He was after the power of resurrection. Hidden knowledge of Egypt. Another theory dives into Moses' past. Remember, Moses was raised in Egypt, trained in Pharaoh's court. Acts 7:22 says, Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Egypt was the land of mysteries, magic, embalming, secret rituals of life and death. What if Moses carried knowledge of these secrets? What if his body, preserved in some way, could unlock forbidden powers? The devil, master of deception, might have wanted Moses' body as a vessel for dark knowledge. With it, he could fuel new cults, new practices, new chains of bondage for humanity. This theory explains why God had to hide Moses' body completely. Because in the wrong hands, especially Satan's, it could have reignited the dark magic of Egypt on a global scale. The cosmic war over humanity. At its core, the battle for Moses' body reveals something bigger, the cosmic war between heaven and hell. Michael, the Archangel, stood directly against Satan, not for a nation, not for a law, but for a body. That shows us the stakes were cosmic. Every inch of ground, every relic, every piece of humanity can be part of the spiritual war. The devil wasn't desperate for Moses' corpse just for power. He was desperate because Moses symbolized God's covenant, God's law, and God's people. To control Moses' body would have been to claim victory over God's greatest servant. And so the fight was fierce, and God Himself intervened. It reminds us that even in death, the battle for human destiny continues. The lesson for today. Why does this matter for us now? Because the devil hasn't changed. He still seeks to twist truth into lies, to turn faith into idolatry, to use symbols and relics to lead people astray. Just look at history. Relics worshipped, saints turned into idols, churches divided over bones and shrines. The devil knows how to turn dead bodies into living traps. The story of Moses' body is more than an ancient mystery. It's a warning. If Satan could fight for the corpse of a prophet, how much more does he fight for our hearts, our beliefs, and our devotion today? The hidden reason is clear. The devil was desperate for Moses' body because of the unimaginable power it represented. Power to deceive, power to control, and power to shake the foundation of God's people. The hidden reason exposed. For centuries, scholars, rabbis, and believers have debated the strange verse in Jude 1:9. Why would Satan, the greatest enemy of God, fight over a corpse? Why would Moses' body be so valuable? Theories about idolatry, resurrection, and Egyptian secrets each reveal parts of the puzzle. But when we piece them together, something far more dangerous emerges. The hidden reason is this: Moses was more than a man. He was the lawgiver, the mediator of God's covenant, the prophet who spoke to God face to face. His body was not just flesh and bone, it symbolized God's authority on earth. If Satan had taken possession of Moses' body, he would have twisted that authority for his own kingdom. He could have turned Moses into an idol, resurrected him as a false prophet, or weaponized his legacy to deceive Israel. Imagine the chaos, millions bowing not to God, but to a counterfeit Moses under Satan's control. It would have been the ultimate blasphemy, the corruption of God's greatest servant into a tool of hell. And this explains why God himself buried Moses in secret, why Michael the Archangel fought the devil face to face. Because the body of Moses represented more than one man's death. It represented the integrity of God's covenant with his people. The shocking truth is this: Satan wasn't fighting for a corpse. He was fighting for the very heart of God's law, for the symbol of divine authority. If he had won, he could have rewritten the story of salvation history. This is why Jude reveals the dispute, but leaves it mysterious. The message is clear. The devil is always desperate to corrupt what God calls holy. And if Satan would go to war for Moses' body, then what wouldn't he fight for today? Conclusion. The provocative question. So now we face the question, why was the devil desperate for Moses' body? Was it to spark idolatry, to corrupt resurrection, to unlock forbidden Egyptian secrets, or simply to claim victory in the cosmic war against God? The Bible leaves the mystery unsolved, but the implications are terrifying. One thing is certain: Satan knew that Moses' body was dangerous, and God knew it too. That's why it was hidden forever. The provocative question remains: if the devil would fight for a body thousands of years ago, what would he fight for in your life today?